You've materialized in a bizarre alien landscape, the Ediacaran seas. Your first actions in the next 5 minutes are critical for survival. Immediately check yourself for injuries. The time machine's emergency pod may have protected you, but adrenaline can mask serious wounds. Survey your surroundings in a complete 360-degree turn. You must identify immediate threats from the strange, disc-shaped and frond-like organisms nearby. Your oxygen meter shows breathable atmosphere, but it's only at 15%, much lower than modern Earth. You'll need to regulate your breathing carefully. The water around you is shallow and warm. While it contains primitive algae, you must not drink it without purification. Modern bacteria haven't evolved yet. Gather any scattered equipment from the pod. Priority items are your emergency beacon, water purifier, and any intact survival gear. The local organisms appear non-aggressive, but their biology is completely alien. Avoid direct contact until you can assess their potential toxicity. You must find higher ground within the next 30 minutes. These shallow seas experience extreme tides that could suddenly flood your position. Look for distinctive geological features you can use as landmarks. The lack of plants or trees makes navigation particularly challenging. Your emergency shelter must be at least 3 meters above the current water level. Ancient tidal patterns were more extreme than modern ones. Begin collecting the strange rubber-like algal mats. These can be used for basic shelter construction and will help retain body heat. Your digital compass won't work here. The Earth's magnetic field is significantly different. You'll need to navigate by the alien sun's position. Within the next hour, you must create a base camp. Use your emergency shelter's solar panels to power the temporal distress beacon. The local temperature is around 25 degrees Celsius, but will drop significantly at night. Prepare additional insulation from the abundant algal materials. Do not attempt to eat any local organisms. Their molecular structure is fundamentally different from modern life. They could be lethal. Your water purifier can process 2 liters per hour. Start purifying water immediately. You'll need 4 liters minimum for the next 24 hours. Set up your emergency beacon on the highest point possible. The temporal rescue team will need a clear signal to locate you in this time period. The strange disc-shaped organisms, Dickinsonia, are harmless, but don't disturb them. They're vital to Earth's evolutionary history. Create clear markers around your camp using debris from the pod. You must be able to find your way back if you explore the surrounding area. Monitor the sky carefully. Without an ozone layer, UV radiation is extreme. Your UV protective gear must be worn at all times outside shelter. You have 72 hours of emergency rations. Conserve them carefully. There are no edible alternatives in this prehistoric environment. The local atmosphere has high CO2 levels. If you feel dizzy or nauseous, use your emergency oxygen supplements immediately. Keep your temporal distress beacon active for at least 4 hours every 6 hours. Rescue teams will triangulate your position across time. Document everything you observe. If rescue is delayed, your notes on Ediacaran life forms could be invaluable to science. Remember, your priority is survival, not exploration. The timeline is fragile, and any significant interference could have catastrophic consequences. Survey your crash site immediately. The alien landscape of the Ediacaran period requires quick action before shock sets in. You must establish your position relative to major landmarks within 10 minutes. The strange disc-like Dickinsonia fossils can serve as markers. Check yourself for injuries right away. The crash impact could have caused internal damage that adrenaline is masking. Your modern equipment is your lifeline. Gather every piece of technology and tools scattered around the crash site within 20 minutes. The atmosphere contains less oxygen than you're used to, around 12% versus modern 21%. Control your breathing to prevent hyperventilation. You need shelter immediately. The Ediacaran period experiences severe storms and temperature fluctuations that can kill within hours. Look for elevated ground away from water. The abundant jellyfish-like creatures indicate frequent flooding in low-lying areas. Your shelter must be at least 3 feet above ground level. Use debris from your time machine and local materials to create a platform. Construct walls using overlapping fronds from the abundant algal mats. These prehistoric plants provide good insulation. You must purify any water before drinking. The ancient microorganisms could be deadly to your modern immune system. Boil water for at least 10 minutes. The prehistoric bacteria are hardy and resistant to shorter boiling times. Create a fire pit with stones in a 3-foot circle. The ancient atmosphere has enough oxygen to sustain fire, but it burns differently. Your modern fire starter is crucial. Preserve it carefully. The damp environment will make natural fire starting nearly impossible. Signal fires must be larger than modern ones due to lower oxygen. Build them on elevated ground using dry algal matter. Keep your blade tool clean and sharp. The silicon-based life forms can corrode metal if left in contact too long. Treat any cuts immediately with antiseptic. The ancient bacteria could cause infections resistant to your immune system. Document everything you see in detail. Your observations could be crucial for rescue teams to locate the correct time period. The primitive organisms around you are non-aggressive, but potentially toxic. Avoid direct contact with all life forms. Your radio may still work. The laws of physics haven't changed. Attempt transmission every 3 hours using emergency frequencies. Construct a large help sign using time machine debris. Make it at least 20 feet long for visibility from temporal search craft. Stay within 100 yards of your crash site. Temporal rescue teams will focus their search on the technological signature. Maintain your sleep schedule based on your origin time. The day-night cycle here is different and can disorient you. Ration your supplies carefully. You must assume rescue could take up to 72 hours in temporal displacement scenarios. Keep your shelter entrance facing away from the prevailing winds. The Ediacaran storms carry microscopic organisms that can be harmful. Monitor yourself for unusual symptoms hourly. Exposure to the prehistoric environment can cause unexpected reactions. Your psychological state is critical. The alien environment and isolation can trigger panic. Maintain regular breathing exercises. Practice temporal grounding techniques every 2 hours. Focus on concrete details from your own time to maintain mental stability. Remember, you have survived the crash. Your technology and knowledge give you advantages even in this prehistoric environment. The rescue protocols for temporal displacement are well established. Stay calm and follow standard procedures for the best outcome. Your survival depends on balancing immediate needs with long-term preparation. Plan each action carefully to conserve energy. Begin scouting your surroundings for edible organisms, focusing on the abundant algal mats covering the seafloor. You must test any potential food sources carefully. This alien ecosystem contains unfamiliar toxins that could be lethal. Start by collecting small samples of different algae types. Look for those with simple, sheet-like structures rather than complex forms. Your survival knife can be used to scrape algae from rocks. Gather at least 3 different varieties to test for edibility. Test each algae type by rubbing a small amount on your inner wrist. Wait 30 minutes to check for skin reactions before proceeding. If no reaction occurs, place a tiny piece on your tongue for 60 seconds without swallowing. Spit it out and wait 6 hours for signs of illness. You'll need to maintain strict portion control even with safe organisms. Your digestive system isn't adapted to this ancient life. Begin constructing fish traps in the shallow waters using your cord and available materials. The seas contain primitive vertebrates. Position your traps where water movement is visible. Predatory organisms will be more active in these oxygen-rich zones. Your shelter must be elevated at least 3 feet off the ground to avoid the toxic slime molds that spread across the land at night. Use your steel tools to create a raised platform, securing it to sturdy rock formations that can support your weight. Check your shelter supports twice daily. The constant moisture will degrade even the strongest natural materials quickly. Your radio components can be repurposed to create basic water filtration using activated carbon from your steel-charred wood. Boil all water for a minimum of 10 minutes. The ancient microorganisms in this period could overwhelm your immune system. Keep your blade meticulously clean. Even minor cuts can become infected with prehistoric bacteria your body can't fight. Create an antiseptic solution by boiling specific red algae species. They contain natural antimicrobial compounds. Document the effects of everything you consume. Your observations could mean survival for others who might follow. You must maintain strict hygiene despite limited resources. Prehistoric microbes could rapidly colonize any open wounds. Establish a daily routine of checking your body for unusual marks or sensations. Early detection of issues is critical. Your psychological health is equally important. The alien landscape and complete isolation can trigger severe anxiety. Keep a log of your experiences and observations. This maintains mental focus and provides crucial data for rescue teams. Practice regular breathing exercises when the strangeness of your situation becomes overwhelming. Panic will kill you faster than predators. Develop a system for marking time passage. The unfamiliar day-night cycles can disorient your natural rhythms. You should always maintain 3 separate water sources in case one becomes contaminated by biological or geological events. Remember that familiar survival rules may not apply here. What's typically edible could be lethal 635 million years ago. Study the movement patterns of local organisms. Their behavior can warn you of approaching environmental dangers. Your steel tools are irreplaceable. Keep them dry and protected from the corrosive effects of prehistoric atmosphere. Create backup shelter locations in case geological activity or massive organism migrations force you to relocate. Never sleep for more than 4 hours without checking your surroundings. The ecosystem's patterns are unpredictable. Maintain multiple fire sources using your steel striker. The unusual atmospheric composition makes fire starting challenging. Learn to recognize signs of approaching storms. The planet's weather patterns are more extreme than you're accustomed to. Your survival depends on adapting to this alien environment while maintaining the essential elements of human physiology. Remember that rescue might take weeks or months. Pace yourself and conserve resources for long-term survival. Notice your equipment's power levels dropping steadily. The quantum stabilizers are failing after weeks of continuous use. Your remaining survival gear shows concerning signs of degradation. The synthetic materials were never meant to last in this era. Watch carefully as microtears form in your protective suit. The ancient atmosphere is slowly seeping through the compromised seals. You must conserve what little power remains. Switch off all non-essential systems and maintain only basic life support functions. Recognize that your situation has become increasingly dire. The time machine's core is beyond repair with available materials. Your food supplies are nearly depleted. The local organisms, while abundant, are too alien to risk consuming for sustenance. Calculate your remaining resources carefully. You have perhaps 3 to 4 days of filtered water and emergency rations left. Begin preparing mentally for what's ahead. The human mind can endure much when it accepts rather than fights against reality. Document your experiences while you still can. Future generations may someday find your records of this ancient world. Observe the strange fractal-like organisms drifting in the shallow seas. Their peaceful movements become oddly comforting. Your breath creates small clouds in the cooling air. The ancient atmosphere feels thicker, richer than what you once knew. Find a high point overlooking the primordial ocean. The view helps provide perspective on your place in Earth's vast history. Watch the alien sunset paint the sky in colors you've never seen. The atmosphere's unique composition creates spectacular effects. Listen to the strange sounds of primitive life forms. Their soft movements in the ancient waters create an otherworldly symphony. Your consciousness begins to drift between past and present. Time loses meaning in this place before time was measured. Feel the ancient earth beneath you, knowing you're among the first humans to touch this pristine world. The stars emerge, different yet familiar. You recognize constellations, though their positions have shifted across eons. Your equipment gives one final warning before falling silent. The last connection to your time fades into the prehistoric night. Breathe deeply of the oxygen-rich air. Each breath connects you to the billions of years of life that will follow. The gentle lapping of primordial waves becomes a lullaby. Your journey through time ends where all life once began. Let the peace of this ancient world wash over you. You've become part of Earth's story, written in layers of time. Your consciousness merges with the rhythm of this prehistoric sea. The boundary between observer and observed slowly dissolves. The first light of dawn breaks over an eternal horizon. Your presence here becomes one with the dawn of life itself.